all or nothing thinking. When you tell yourself it's got to be the best or it's the worst. I see you out there thinking and saying to yourself, it's got to be all in or it won't work. I've got to train for a full hour each session or I won't get results. I need to eat broccoli and rice every single meal or I won't lose weight. I need to do everything right the first time. Otherwise, I just have to do it all over again. It's the all or nothing approach to thinking. Hello and welcome. Kareen here, owner and head coach at CRG Energy Fitness, and I help parents to build strong and confident mind and bodies so you can move closer to the results that you want and feel confident and comfortable within your own skin. So thank you for joining me on this fine day today. So we're talking the all or nothing approach when it comes to health and fitness. Alrighty. Now, I see you because I actually used to be you. Alrighty. I used to have that all or nothing thinking approach, and every so often, even now, I still need to, or I still catch myself when I come up against those thoughts and those, experiencing those feelings within myself when it comes to my everyday life, as well as, training, as well as nutrition. If I'm not a total success, then I'm a total failure. And as I mentioned, we can relate this to all aspects of our life. Alrighty, this all or nothing mindset can be one of the biggest reasons why we may fail over succeeding when it comes to our health and fitness goals. Alrighty, so what is this mindset and why is it so bad when it comes to weight loss and our health and fitness goals? So the mindset of I'm either on the plan or I'm off the plan. There is no in between. So, you may find or experience yourself having a really good day of eating, like healthy eating. And then you maybe slip up and have a chocolate bar or have, a Coke or a soda or some soft drink. And then you go into that feeling or that thinking state of, oh my God, I've just ruined my whole day of eating. I've just had, this major cheat meal and now the whole diet is ruined. Alrighty. So instead of it being a little slip up and considered maybe a little cheat meal or snack, it becomes this big, overwhelming situation where you believe that you've ruined your whole day of eating. Or let's think about then exercise. Your thoughts are, oh goodness, I'm so busy today. There's absolutely no way I can possibly fit in, the 1 hour training session that I had planned. So your thoughts then go to, well, I might as well not do anything at all. Alrighty, so I might as well do nothing. Instead of perhaps using that 10 minutes that you had or that you found within your day to maybe just go for a walk around the block or to get in, a couple of minutes here and there and, maybe 1 minute of star jumps, 1 minute of squats, 1 minute of push-ups, So these micro little workouts within the day rather than, oh my goodness, I can't get in the 1 hour training session I had planned, so I'm not going to do anything at all, Or maybe you're someone that, when you think about your overall plan altogether, you might be doing great for a couple of weeks. You're feeling the flow. Everything's going really well. And then you have an event planned or people come over, friends come over or family maybe, you haven't seen for a little while. So, you end up maybe going out that night and having a few drinks and maybe a little bit of food that wasn't on your plan. So you believe then that you're actually fallen off the wagon, so to speak, and I've ruined my plan and I'm not sticking to it, so I might as well just give up altogether. I haven't followed the plan to the T, so my whole progress is blown, my whole program is off track. And, so you'd rather then go down that path of staying off track rather than realizing and recognizing that you've had a bit of a slip up or you've had a day where it hasn't gone as planned, yet you're able to then deviate back to the original plan and back to the program that you're actually on. Alrighty, so the point here is the all or nothing mentality and the all or nothing mindset and approach to thinking can be really rigid and restrictive and based around perfectionism. Alrighty, rather than having an actual flexible approach, just like a rubber band, let's say. So the rubber band approach can, take the hit and then actually bounce back. So bounce back and come back on track rather than the rigid all or nothing mindset, which, takes a hit. So you go off plan and then it all just falls apart and it all just breaks. And then comes the cycle of beating yourself up, trying to then find the willpower to get back on track, feeling as if you've got to start again from the start all over again. Alrighty. So it's that perfectionism type personality trait. And it actually used to be a trait that I used to wear quite proudly. I was so proud that I would want to do everything perfect. Alrighty. Otherwise, I felt as if I just couldn't do it at all. However, remember, perfection is never or should never be the actual goal. Alrighty. Progress and moving forward to and progressing towards what you want on a bigger picture and on a bigger scale should always be the main aim and should always be the goal. Alrighty, so trending forward should always be the goal. So what we can find is when we actually get stuck in these extreme ways of thinking, and sometimes we can get stuck without actually realizing. But if you do feel that you're getting stuck and you do feel that you're becoming discouraged or feeling defeated or, feeling as if you're not good enough because you're not making reaching your high set of standards that you've actually set for yourself, the chances are that you are actually getting stuck in this all or nothing mentality and this all or nothing approach to thinking. Alrighty, so when we actually focus then on perfectionism, we set the bar so high that anything less than that, and that could even be right underneath that bar, is then never good enough for us. Alrighty, and we feel those feelings within ourselves that we're a failure. Alrighty, so it's going from that, if I can't make that standard, that standard would be a success. If I can't make that standard, I'm then a failure. Alrighty, so we actually then get stuck in this unachievable standard that we set for ourselves. And, these ideas of how things are supposed to be. And then when we don't hit those high standards, we then turn on ourselves and we shame ourselves and berate ourselves. And we can actually become really unkind to ourselves in that space. Alrighty, and be really mean to ourselves. So I want you to actually ask yourself right now, are there areas in my life where I'm actually bringing this all or nothing mentality? This all or nothing approach is a cognitive thinking pattern that then just leads us to anxiety. Is it coming up in your nutrition? Is it coming up with your exercise? And is it coming up in that internal dialogue that we have around the busyness of our lives that we just don't have time to, to exercise or to meal prep or to do things that are actually going to serve us in the best possible way and move us closer to the results and the goals that we want? Alrighty. So the key message here is that the all or nothing mentality sucks. Alrighty. I absolutely get that it comes from a really good place. We want to be great at things. I don't think anyone ever goes into doing anything or starting anything thinking, I really want to be shit at this. Hell no. We want to go, we go into things wanting to be the best that we can at this. Yet that all or nothing approach and mentality is just not realistic all of the time. Alrighty. And when it comes to health and fitness, it's about finding that balance, suiting the lifestyle that we have, and then creating consistency to be able to help move us and progress us forward. It's about progressing rather than being perfect. Alrighty, and then I believe that the real skill here comes when we can actually understand and become aware that we've fallen into that habit, or we can realize that we're having that all or nothing approach, and we can actually then recognize that and get ourselves back on track. So if it's, I can't do, because I've only got 15 minutes spare today, I can't do any type of exercise. It's actually realizing that that's the story that we're telling ourselves, and then going, hey, I've got 15 minutes here. Let's go for a walk around the block, or let's do some squats and some push-ups, or, whatever it is that you really like to do. Let's dance around the living room to, let go of some of those stresses that we're holding within our body. So let's drop the all or nothing mindset and actually work at being flexible with the time and the, skills that we actually do have already, with always wanting to learn and adopt a growth mindset to help us actually progress and move forward. Because I believe it's about being okay with being flexible. It's about moving forward, and it's about keeping our end goal in mind. Alrighty, so remembering the flexibility rather than the rigidity of that all or nothing mindset. So how can we actually move out of this all or nothing mindset to actually be better, to live better, and to do better, and, just be happier in an overall sense? Alrighty, so I know for myself, when I was able to, really work on moving out of that all or nothing mindset, my life improved tenfold. And I just felt so much happier within myself as well, because I just didn't have that pressure that I was putting on myself to always do something perfectly. I was able to step back and go, what? Today, this is what I can do, and I'm going to be okay with that. So actually embracing that and giving yourself the grace to be okay with what you can do in that day. Because remember, tomorrow's a whole new day, and you're going to find then the time and the energy tomorrow to get it done. Alrighty, so don't just write off today when you've got so many more opportunities that are coming up. Alrighty. So remember, do understand that setbacks happen, and do find the positive in all situations. Alrighty, so we don't want to focus on our faults and, then dwell on those self-defeating thoughts, and try and avoid using those, all or nothing terms such as never or nothing, and remember, we're all going to have those negative thoughts from time to time, and that's natural. And it doesn't matter how confident or how smart we are. We're human. Every single one of us are going to make mistakes, and we're going to then find ourselves falling into those unhealthy thought patterns from time to time. Alrighty, but I believe, like anything, if you want to fix, or, well, not even fix, if you want to improve your life and, be your best version every day, it's important to then understand and to recognize when you actually are, dropping back, or when you are, coming or experiencing that all or nothing mindset, actually look at what's happening around you at the time. Why is it happening? And, what is the problem that's occurring? And what's the problem that's arising here? And how does it affect you? And then look at what you can learn from that, so that for future circumstances, you can implement then the tools that are going to help you to progress forward, so that you don't keep making the same mistakes over and over again. Alrighty. So why is it that we have these all or nothing thoughts, right? Because I think, I've kind of touched on already, these thoughts can lead to anxiety. These thoughts can lead to frustration, to sadness, to, not feeling good enough or smart enough or fit enough, healthy enough, However, subconsciously in the short term, they're actually benefiting us, alrighty? And we can often fall into some of these, certain mindsets out of a defense mechanism to actually protect ourselves, alrighty? So they do actually become useful within the short term, alrighty? But as I mentioned, if you're recognizing that you're falling into these mindset thought patterns on a regular occurrence, a regular basis, then we need to then identify that and look at why we're doing this and why we're repeating the pattern over and over again when we do have the opportunity to actually grow from this. Alrighty. And how can we stop these all or nothing, approach to thinking? How can we stop this all or nothing mentality? Because remember, the best thing about this is we can recognize it and we do have the opportunity to make the change because we can always change our thought patterns. Alrighty, so I'm going to go through now a couple of tips that I'm going to provide for you where it's going to help you to eliminate or to reduce this all or nothing mindset. Alrighty. So number one, actually pay attention to your words. Alrighty. What is that internal dialogue that you're telling yourself? Is it, as we touched on before, I need to do that 1 hour of training or I can't do any at all? So some of these phrases and thoughts and thinking patterns that we do have display an absolute way of thinking, alrighty, whereas we want to go back to having that flexible way of thinking, alrighty. So it's, everything or nothing. We want to then actually pay attention to the phrases and the internal dialogue that we're speaking to ourselves, alrighty. Tip number 2 is think about when does it actually or when does it usually happen? Can you recognize a pattern here? When does it happen? Is it when you're angry? Is it when you're tired? Is it when you're sad? Have you just had, a confrontation with the kids that aren't doing what you've, asked them to do? So you're feeling a little frustrated. You're feeling a little angry. Look for, the trigger, the environmental trigger that's setting you off, so to speak. Because remember, when our physical or our mental state changes, it can be easy to, fall into those patterns, those regular thought patterns that we normally have following a certain mindset change. Alrighty. And so if you're able to then identify when you fall into this, black or white thinking, then you're able to then avoid it, or you're able to then recognize that this is the path you're going down. And then you have the opportunity to put a pause on that and to go, not today. This is not happening today. I am going to change this right here, right now. And that's pretty damn empowering, I think. Alrighty, so tip number 3 is a little bit of what we just touched on, really, is to actually challenge your thoughts. So ask yourself, is the thought pattern or is the view that you're having of a certain situation, is it correct or is it actually accurate? Alrighty, because we're not always going to be right. It's natural. We're not always going to be right. So you want to be able to challenge your thoughts on a regular basis. Alrighty. So if you catch yourself thinking this happens every single time, well, ask yourself the question, does it actually happen every single time? Or does it only happen maybe 3 out of the 10 times and you're focusing on those 3 times and you're not actually then considering the 7 times that it hasn't happened? Alrighty, so am I being accurate in the statements that I'm thinking or saying out loud? And tip number 4 is try to move away from that perfectionist personality trait as such, or that, the feeling of everything has to be perfect. Alrighty, so if you believe that you can only do a task if you do it the best way possible, or if you do it perfect, Otherwise, you just can't do it at all. Remember, those, like, setting that standard for yourself is really high, and it is really unrealistic, alrighty? And you're actually setting yourself up for failure then, because as I mentioned, we are only human. You're not going to be able to hit that standard every single time. And then it's about being okay with yourself if you don't hit that standard, alrighty? And it's about saying, hey, it's all right. Yeah, Charmaine, tough one. I agree, because I've come from that way of thinking myself, and I've got to stop I've really got to work hard to actually catch myself when I have that way of thinking myself. So, and that comes with practice. So don't be too hard on yourself. You could experience this 10 times out of the day, and on that 11th time, you actually catch yourself and go, hey, I'm having this way of thinking. Now that's a win. Alrighty, so be really proud of yourself for the times that you actually catch yourself in that mindset, or in that all or nothing approach to thinking, because that's you progressing. Because then the next day you might only have those thoughts 9 times rather than 10. So already you're progressing because you're having them less. So that's really awesome. So really focus on your wins, no matter how small. Alrighty, that's really important. And I guess social media as well, it has to be mentioned, really creates this distorted view of how people and how their lifestyles actually are. All right. Everyone's only ever going to post their best, their best side, their best experiences. I rarely see people posting about, their shit days and how tough it was for them today. I rarely see that. We all want to, I guess, appear that we have our shit together. And the reality is, there's going to be some days that we don't have our shit together. I know that's true for me. I mean, even this morning, we were running late, and I was, to my daughter, come on, get dressed. She spilt some water, which took, another 5 minutes or so for me to clean up. And I was like, we don't have time for this. But I took a deep breath and went, it's okay. It's okay. We're still going to get to, Osh Club on time. It's about taking that breath and just being okay with what happens in the moment. Because I recognized, and something important I just want to add to that, I actually recognized if I yelled at her in that moment, it actually would have created just a really uncomfortable experience for both of us. And it was an accident. It wasn't as if she's, sitting there tipping her water out all over the floor. She likes to talk with her hands. She's like me. So her hands flew up, the water flew over. It just happened. So, I was in that moment, and actually I'm really proud of myself, because there has been times that those type of things have happened and I've just gone off, I've lost my shit. But, I went, it's okay. I rushed to get a towel just to start cleaning it up straight away, and everything was good. Alrighty. So sorry, getting back to that, to stop being a perfectionist is, in the short term, it provides protection, and it provides that defense mechanism, that, as I say, that protection for us. However, if we're looking long term here, it will then just make you more vulnerable to anxiety and just not feeling good about yourself in general. And I'm all about, helping you to actually recognize when, you're not feeling good about yourself, and being able to flick that switch and to, or flip it over to actually then look at how can we, look at this from a better point of view, and how can we look at how we can progress from here. Alrighty guys, so thank you so much for tuning in. I really hope you got some benefit out of my video today. Please hit the heart button or send me a thumbs up if you like what you hear and you found this video really beneficial for you. And if you want some help with your eating, your exercise, or just allowing yourself to actually embrace a growth mindset and move forward when it comes to your mindset and your all or nothing approach to thinking, then please reach out to me. Reach out to us here at CIG Energy Fitness. We're here to help. Alrighty, and we're here to help mums and dads just like you progress and actually move forward towards your goals. You know, we also have the options of being able to show you 10 to 15 minute workouts that you can get done in those small snippets, I was about to say, small snippets of time that you do find yourself available to then actually focus on you and focus on your health and fitness and being the very best version that you can be. Alrighty, guys, have the best day. See you next time.